I want to try to keep this review as short as possible, and I hope you continue to watch past this point, but if you're at all on the fence about the new Mac Mini and you're wondering if this is a good computer to buy in 2025, the answer is yes, absolutely. You can get into the macOS world with only $599, and you can get a computer that I promise you can do just about everything that you might need it to do, and then some. You can use it for work, you can use it for personal use, and you can even use it as a gaming console. Now, the Mac Mini is hands down one of Apple's best Macs you can buy, especially if you really want to get into a desktop. The biggest con about the Mac Mini is that, well, yeah, it's $599, but you still need to have a monitor, keyboard, and mouse, and so if you don't have those things, well, then it's a little bit more expensive. But if you're looking for a fantastic entry-level way of getting into macOS with Apple Silicon without breaking the bank, or you want a really solid Pro device with the M4 Pro variant without breaking the bank, which starts at $1399, this is your top choice. I mean, let's be honest, this kind of always was the case with the Mac Mini, but up until the last 4 years or so with the introduction of Apple Silicon, it really needs to still keep getting the praise that it rightfully deserves. And that's because these chips are just so good, they keep getting better, and you don't even need to get the highest configurations in order to feel like you have a really top-notch pro-level machine. So this year, Apple updated the Mac Mini with the new M4 chip, and of course, it's a lot better than the last few years, and even last year's, it's still got some pretty good performance increase, and you also have the M4 Pro chip available for this Mac Mini, but more importantly, it got a little bit of a facelift. It just looks like a baby Mac Studio that also kind of wants to be a little bit of an Apple TV box. It's so incredibly tiny that while this is a desktop machine, because you need to have a monitor and you need to have peripherals with it, you can absolutely throw this thing in your bag with some small travel Bluetooth keyboard and mouse options out there, and there are so many portable displays that you can easily put into a backpack that this could be a portable desktop, and that's really cool. This thing quite literally fits in the palm of my hands. It's adorable. Now, the M4 Pro model is the one that I have here, and on the back you'll see 3 Thunderbolt 5 ports, along with your HDMI, Ethernet, and power cable area. On the front, you get 2 more USB-C ports, though these are just regular USB-C, not Thunderbolt, and there's also a 3.5mm headphone jack next to the LED display to let you know that your computer's on. I also kind of wish there was an SD card slot here on the front like the Mac Studio. That's really good for video editing and a photography perspective, especially since Apple markets this machine towards creatives a bit. And again, the Mac Studio has one. I thought maybe we would get one, but we don't. Maybe they're just keeping that for the higher end desktop devices. Now, the power button is also kind of weird. It's located on the bottom left of the machine. Now, it's going to be kind of a pain for you if you are planning to mount this or put it in like a server farm where you can't easily reach the power button, but for those of us who probably don't turn off the machine a whole lot, it's probably not an issue. Even if you do turn the machine off a lot, as long as you can easily just get your finger to the back corner there and you just slightly lift it up and push it, it takes 2 seconds. It's not a huge deal at all. Again, only for those who are like shoving it in a locker with a bunch of other ones right next to it for a server farm or something like that, or you're mounting it under your desk and it's hard to reach it, yeah, that could be the only issue. There are also new peripherals that came out with this machine, and they have been absolutely amazing because, well, I'm already a huge fan of the Magic Keyboard, the trackpad, and yes, even the Magic Mouse, but now they're finally updated to USB-C, which is the only difference, but it was the only difference that I really needed right now. We're so close to being lightning free. Maybe you already are. I have a few random accessories looking at that Travel Duo wireless charger thing that has lightning still, but once that gets updated, I think that's like the last thing that needs to be updated, and we're just almost there to a fully USB-C Apple world, and it's great. Now, I also checked out the new Corsair K65 Plus keyboard and the M75 gaming mouse, also from Corsair, and just for everyday use, it's been fantastic, but these peripherals were basically made to be paired with this lovely little Mac. It comes in a few different colors, and if you're trying to use this machine as your little gaming device, like I mentioned earlier, I highly recommend getting these peripherals. I think they'll go well together. If you're scoffing at the notion of a Mac being a gaming powerhouse, While it still can't play a lot of the AAA titles that you probably want, Apple keeps making huge strides, especially with the performance and power of Apple Silicon. I've been to a few gaming showcases from Apple over the last few months where I just have been running all of these fantastic games, some that haven't come out, like Cyberpunk, at least hasn't come out for the Mac yet, but it will be. And I ran it on this Mac Mini, and even though I was terrible at the game, I mean, it still runs really well. Performance is so buttery smooth. And you can also play games like Baldur's Gate 3, Prince of Persia, and Frostpunk 2, some of these in Steam. Yes, Steam, if you didn't know, which you probably do, but is on the Mac, and there are some games that are just really dedicated towards pushing the boundaries of what you get with Apple Silicon. And so, again, an entry-level $599 Mac Mini can do all of this, and I honestly couldn't even notice the gameplay being drastically different, if at all, on that entry level compared to the M4 Pro. Again, I'm not a huge gamer, but I do like to partake when I can, mostly when I have time and when it's convenient. And when I travel, I do get a little bit more downtime as opposed to being at home, but I'm not bringing my console with me everywhere I go. Now, you can play console-level games on your Apple Silicon Mac, and there are tons of other options on Apple Arcade that are just so much more fun. And so this machine is not only for productivity, but it's for gaming, and it just makes it really, really versatile. So yes, you can absolutely game on the M4 Mac Mini, especially if you get a stronger option with the M4 Pro models. It really does help push some of the higher end graphics and more, performance intensive tasks that you might need. But again, was able to do it on the entry level. But also, I've been using this for, video editing, my job, and even more music production, something that I like to do on the side. And this machine can do all of that, no problem. You also get Apple Intelligence, which I've been trying to make an effort to use more on the Mac because I think writing tools is incredible for getting stuff done. And then when you outsource some of those harder requests to ChatGPT inside of writing tools, it's another great addition. It's just much more seamless and I don't have to bounce around between different apps. Now, the ideal Mac Mini setup, in my mind, one that I think will last you so many years, a really long time as a nonstop daily workhorse, is this setup that I have here. So I have the M4 Pro Mac Mini with 1 terabyte of SSD storage. If you need more SSD storage, just get an external drive. Apple charges an insane amount for SSD. And so 1 is good because I think you're still going to want to store a lot of things internally, but then outsource the larger stuff, the stuff that you don't need all the time, on an external drive, you'll be fine. Maybe get 24 gigs of RAM, though I really think you can get away with 16 gigs because of just how well optimized the hardware and software can be. But if you're worried, future-proof as much as you can afford. Then, whatever keyboard and mouse works best for your needs is fine. It doesn't really matter. I like Apple's first-party accessories because I get Touch ID for logging into apps, logging into my Mac, and using Apple Pay, which is crucial for me. I use these things every day. And the gestures on the trackpad and the Magic Mouse are just too good to miss out on. Yes, I know the charging port's on the bottom of the Magic Mouse. No, it's not an issue except for like once every 6 months. It's really fine, and I kind of really do like it for some reason. The display of choice for me is the Studio display. I think there's nothing like this on the market. Honestly, I stand by this statement. Yes, there are countless 4K, 5K, and even 6K monitors that are cheaper, but you're not getting Retina quality. Only Apple does Retina quality this good for this price. And while it is still pretty expensive, like you can get it for, I think it's $1,500 or something, but you can get it for much cheaper, secondhand somewhere, or just on sale. There's just nothing's going to beat this Retina quality, super sharp, super vibrant, very color accurate monitor out there. I just don't think there's anything that's like this. So that's it for me. That's the perfect setup for the Mac Mini in my eyes. I think it's the perfect M4 machine for most users out there, mostly because it's significantly cheaper than some of the other ones out there. It's compact, it can be portable if you want to travel with it, and it also takes up very little desk space. It's just adorable on a desk. It can handle just about any task you throw its way, and you can definitely game on it. What else is there not to love? So, I would love to hear from you in the comments down below. Are you thinking about getting one? Let me know in the comments down below if this has helped, or if you already have one, how are you liking it? Let me know down in those comments. This has been with MacRumors. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you around, hopefully, in my next video.